Okay, let's get started. So today we'll focus on loops, right? And what is loop? Loop is when you want to repeat set of code or lines of code multiple times, right? So so far what we have seen that you execute same line, right? I mean single time, right? You execute in sequential manner and in same like one time. Now, you might have to repeat certain block of code in some situation multiple times, maybe 2 times, 10 times. So that's when we use loop. Okay. There are two important ways of doing looping in Python, which is your for loop and your while loop. While loop is used when you don't know how many times you want to repeat, right? So when you don't know how many times. But you need to have some condition in mind, isn't it? I will do it until, right? So I always give this example. Okay, let's say uh, you are going to university and you ask somebody a direction, right? Saying that, how do I reach to that university? So there are two ways that guy can give you an answer. One way is tell you that go exactly for a kilometer in this direction and you will see the university on the left hand side. So go exactly 1 kilometer in this direction. So here 1 kilometer is the key, right? If the university is, let's say, half kilometer from there, you will miss it. And if it is little more than a kilometer also, you will miss it. Because since you've been told 1 kilometer, probably you look at the speedometer and you will stop exactly at 1 kilometer. So that's where you use while. When you know exactly how many times, you know how much, how many kilometers you have to go, okay, how many times you have to repeat the loop, okay, how many times you need to repeat. Second way is that guy tells you keep going till you see a red building. Keep going till you see a red building on your left hand side. Now, red building is the condition. Okay, so you'll take a step. Okay, you don't know, it could be after a step or it could be after million steps, right? So you take a step, you look left, you don't see a red building. You take another step, look left, take another step, look left, right? And you keep doing it. Okay, and you will see red building, and that's when you stop. If there is no red building, what happens? If there is no red colored building, then what happens? You keep walking forever, isn't it? Okay, you keep walking forever. We call it as infinite loop. You keep going forever. Okay, so that's the situation. And when you do not give proper condition, okay, you might end up going in infinite loop. Okay, so these are the two ways of doing looping. We'll start with for loop first. We'll spend some time on for loop and then we'll go on while. But again, when before we do for loop, we also need to understand a function called as range. Okay, so this is one of again internal functions, and your range is to generate range of values. Okay, which values, what kind of values, depending upon what you give to range. Okay, so range will have a starting value, will have an ending value, and what we call a step or increment. Okay, so or maybe I'll say just to match SSS, we'll call it stop. So, so let's say if I, okay, so okay, before that, so this the number, okay, will start, okay, the number generation will start from start, okay, so starts with start, okay, goes up to Stop. Okay, when somebody gives you, shows your hand to stop, right? So do you go and touch the hand to stop? No. You stop a distance, away from the hand, right? So it is not including, it is excluding. So if I say stop at 10, you'll stop at 9 itself. You will not stop at, you'll not even go to 10. You will stop at 9 itself. But starting line, is including. So if I say 0, you'll start from 0. If I say 10, you'll start from 10. So you'll say 10. But stop will be before, okay? Goes up to, not including, okay? And then you have you have step. So each time value is increased by step. So for example, if I say range 10 comma 30 comma 6, tell me which values will it generate? I'm asking you a question. Tell me, if I say range 10 comma 30 comma 6, what will be the first value?
6, huh?
No, start is where?
10, sir.
10.
10, sir.
Start is 10. Then the next value would be
Stop.
30. 29.
16.
16. Step is 6. So I have to increase by 6. So 10, 16, then
22. Like that. will go.
22, then
28.
28, then
That's it.
that's it. Yes. Okay. It will be 28. Now, for a second, let's assume I make this as 28 plus 6 is 34, right? I'll make it as 34. Then what happens?
Still, it stops at 28.
Yes,
It's
still
not
it will stop at 28 because it is up to. If I give 35, then you get 34. Okay. If I make it 35, then you get 34 because 34 is less than 35. But in case of 34, it doesn't go beyond 28. Okay. So range will generate these values for us. Okay. Now your range function can have, okay, just two values also. Okay. Range function can have start and stop. So when you see range with three values, you know the leftmost is start, rightmost is step, and middle one is stop value. When you have two values, start and stop, that's what it means. Okay, there is no step. Why? Because default increment is 1. So if I give range with just 10 comma, let's say 17, then what kind of values it will generate? First value
10.
10, then
11.
correct.
7 till
12,
16.
13, 14,
To 16.
15,
14, 15, 16.
16. That these are the values it will generate. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
range start comma stop means starting with the given value and up to, right? And default increment is 1. Okay. You might have range with just one value. That is the stop value. So if you see range function with just one value, that means that is the stop value. So default, okay, in Python, default start is 0. 0 is the first number in Python. Okay. In Java, you can define 0 or 1. In R, it is 1. But in Python, it is 0. 0 is your first number. So when I say range stop, that means default start is 0 and default increment is, or default step we call it, right? Step is 1. Yeah, I'll put it step. Okay, so default step is 1. So if you see range with 5, then which all values will it generate?
Zero,
Zero.
1, 2, 3, 4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right? Okay. So this is how range works. Now we are going to use range with for loop and see an example. So let's say I want to generate values from 1 to 10. Okay. Now, one way is you say print 1, right? Print 2, print 3, print 4, print 5, print 6. But that's not the efficient way of generating. So I will say print X, okay? And I will put this in a loop which will run 10 times. And the X value will increase from 1 to 10, right? That is the best way to do it, right? Instead of doing it, if I say generate 1,000 numbers, you can't do copy print, 1,000 times. So we will use, because here, okay, we know that how many times to repeat the loop, isn't it? I said print 1 to 10. So 1 to 10, you know exactly how many times you need to run. That's where your for loop is preferred. Now later we'll see that you can do same thing using while loop also. But easiest way to do is using for loop because you know how many times you need to repeat the loop. So you need to start from 1 and repeat up to 10, right? So I'm going to use for I in range 1 comma 11 colon. Okay. Read these in like, these are like, each of these are different thing. Okay, let's understand. Since we are using for loop, you put a for here. Okay, for indicates that we are going to use for loop. So for. Now, for we need to have a counter, right? Which will count how many times you are repeating the loop. So when I say go 1 kilometer, you need something that will measure 1 kilometer, right? Okay. 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, up to 1,000 meters. You need to have something that will measure. Otherwise, how will you know that you have reached 1 kilometer? So that is I. I is a variable which will do the counter job. Okay. Or you can call it as say counter. It's just a variable, any variable. Okay. So I say counter. So for counter, in is an operator. Okay, just like plus, minus, into, division, right? Greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, and or not. In is also an operator called membership operator. Okay, this is the new operator we are learning, our membership operator. This checks whether the value, left side value, is in right side or not. Left side value is in right side or not. But in case of for loop, it actually gives value from right side to left side. For will force. So range will generate range of values. What kind of values range will generate? So range will generate 1, 2, 3, up to 10, right? Because we said 1 comma 11, no step. No step means default step is 1. Starting is 1. Ending is up to 11. So 10. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. Range will generate. For will make sure that counter takes only one value in each iteration. Each time only one value from range is assigned here. So counter will have a value 1 to 10. But each time it will take only one value. So in is an operator which says that if this value left side is in right side or not. But in case of for loop will make counter take value from range one value at a time. So now this is colon. So I have to indicate something which belongs to for loop. Just like if we have if block, here we have a for block. So I'm saying this print x is inside for loop. So you have to give a space here, tab space. And I will say counter here. That's it. Now when I run it, so you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So first line, counter. Range will generate 1. 1 is assigned to counter. Now it goes inside. Print counter, 1 is printed. End of block goes up because you have to repeat it, right? Till it is 1 kilometer, you have to repeat it. Till it is 10, you have to repeat it. Goes up. Now counter takes value 2. Prints 2, goes up. Counter takes 3, prints 3, goes up. 4, prints 4, goes up. 9, prints 9, goes up. 10, okay, prints 10, goes up. No more values to take. Then it comes to end of the program or line number 15. We don't have line 15, so it ends the program. Make sense? So this is how you can use for loop. And later we'll see how, because each of these are different component, right? We can replace this with something else also. Okay, we'll see that later. But right now, focus with range. Okay. Now let's do one more. Okay. I want to print this 1 to 10 in single line. What should I do? What print does? Print will have new line, right? I told you by default, it has its own set of new line. Okay. So we need to get rid of that new line. How can we get rid of that new line? What is the command that we use?
And we have to specify.
Yes.
Print.
Okay. You have to use end. Okay. End is command which is to make that new line visible. Okay. So I'm going to say here end equal to, and I can put comma and space. If I put comma and space, what happens? See, it printed in one single line. If you do not want this comma to be printed, you can use that in assignment. Okay. You have to have a if condition. Try to do that. Try not to print last comma. So you'll say if counter is last value like 10, then don't print it. Otherwise, else print comma. You can try that part. Okay. And now see, since everything, this print is in loop, it is printing everything in one line. But once you are done, you need to print blank so that it comes to next line. Because if I don't do, and let's say if I have to print thank you, okay, thank you will also be printed in the same line, right? You don't want. So best way is that you have a blank print so that let it print a new line once you are done. And that's why it is outside the loop. If we do inside the loop, then there's no point of this, right? It will print new line after every print of counter. So I'm putting it outside so that once you are done with the for loop, okay, then you print new line, the blank line, new line. So this blank will take it to the next line. And then of course, thank you will be printed in the new line. Make sense? Yes? Perfect. Okay. Now let's do one more example. I want to print odd numbers. Okay. I want to print odd numbers. So generate odd numbers. But how many odd numbers you want to generate? First 10 odd number, let's say. First 10 odd number. Generate first 10 odd numbers. Okay. Now, first 10 odd number is not same as 1 to 10, correct? So one way is you figure out what is the 10th odd number, right? Chandraman बिल्कुल use कर सकते हैं, right? So the best way to know whether we can use something or not, okay, is you use it and see. See, your program, at worst, it can give you a wrong result. It will not crash your computer. It will not create fire in your laptop. So if you think, oh, can I do something like this? Can I do this? Best way is you do it and see. You do it, and if you see the output, if it is what you want, great. That means you found a way to do it. You found a different way to do it. But if you don't see what, I mean, you get something that you don't expect, okay, then you figure out why did it give what it gave, right? So you will learn on something new. So whenever in programming you have doubt, because see, my focus is to teach, right? So I'm going to do it in one particular way. But when you do it, and if you think that, oh, can I do something like this? Can I put something here? Can I put A here? Can I put print here? Can I? Of course, you try and do it. You see what impact it has on the program. Okay, you should, in fact, okay, you should try to do it different way. All your doubt that you have, you should try it out. That's what at the way, worst case is you will not get what you want. That's all. It's not going to create any damage. Okay, it will only enhance your knowledge. Okay, now in this case, generate first 10 odd numbers. I don't know. Okay, now can I use something like this? Okay, of course I can use something like this. What I will do here, I will start odd number, right? So it starts from 1. Okay, let's say I put 11 and I say comma 2, right? And I will add something like odd num. Now, when you say odd num, okay, you start with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and you stop there, right? But I need to make sure that the calculation is correct here. 10 calculation is correct. Okay? Or, okay, or what I can do is, I can say for, let's say, counter itself. Counter in range 10. Now you tell me, what is, when I say range 10, what numbers it's going to give us? It's going to give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many numbers did it generate? 10 numbers. That means this loop is going to run 10 times. First time counter is 0. Second time counter is 1. Third time counter is 2. Fourth time counter is 4, 5, right? So on. So this will make sure that your loop is running exactly 10 times. But now what should I do here? I need to print it, my odd number, right? So what is the formula for printing odd number? You know? So first thing is, of course, 2 into counter, right? So if counter is 0, 2 into 0 is 0 plus 1. Is it so? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so here also I have to give blank, right? Otherwise, what is happening is it's printing in same line, right? Or I can give end here also. Let me. And I'll print something here to indicate that, this is the beginning of this part. So now you see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Now in this case, I don't have to count is it 10 numbers or not because loop is repeating 10 times. So you will get 10 print, right? But you can count and check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is repeating 10 times. All right. Now if you have to generate even number, okay. Okay. So I will say now, generate even numbers till 50. Now I'm saying till 50, right? Now in till 50, I don't have to count how many times. I can simply put here, like, I'll copy this part. And I will say here, let's call it as even number. Since I know it's 50, I'll put 50 here, correct? Right? And then starting is 0. We know starting one even number is 0. So 0, comma 50. So you get 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 up to 48.
48.
Right? So this is how you can
Yes, sir.
range of values. Next, we'll see some examples of while loop. And tomorrow we'll do more examples of for loop. We'll just see how while loop works. Okay. Now we'll see while. Now, what did we say? While is used when you don't know how many times, but there will be some condition, right? Has to be some condition. Okay. So here, let's say I say, okay, generate value till user says yes. So you'll ask the user, do you want more values? Yes. 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 No. No, then you stop. Right? So for example, I'll say what user says. Okay, I'll say user says yes. So user equal to y. Now I will say while user equal to y. See, I'm assigning the value here, user equal to y. And here while is always followed by a condition. While is followed by a condition. And if this condition is true, that's when you go inside the while. Okay, is always followed by a condition, and only if the condition is true, you get into while. So let's say I put print hello. Want to print hello till user says yes. Okay. Question is, write a program to print hello till user says so. Okay, so initially it is. Now in C, C++, Java, you have two types of while. You have while and do while. Okay, while is entry control loop and do while is exit control loop. Means, okay, here you see, to get into while, you are checking the condition. If this condition is true, only then you get inside. Okay. Now this scenario is best suited for do while, but Python does not have do while scenario. You have to use while itself for do while. Okay. Do while is where you perform at least one iteration and then you check the condition. It's like in train, how do you first you get in, right? Then there will be somebody who will check your ticket. So that's called exit control. So you can go in without ticket, but you can't come out without ticket, right? Because at exit you'll be checked, right? But most of these metro trains, your entry itself is checked, right? You can't get in if you don't have a valid ticket, correct? You can't get in if you don't have a valid ticket, correct? So yeah, so here I'm checking the entry. Is it true? Yes. Then you print hello. If it is false, then let's say user says no. Now in this case, when you run it, nothing happened because user is n and here user equal to y, okay? And so condition becomes false here, right? Now if I say y, what happens? Okay, so user says y, this is true, goes in, prints hello. After printing hello, it goes up and checks user equal to y. Yes, your value is y only. Prints hello, goes up, true, prints hello, goes up. So this condition is always true, right? So it prints hello infinite times. It goes up, prints hello, goes up, prints hello, right? Now what we need to do is we need to ask the user. So I will say user equal to input. Okay, enter y to continue or any other key to stop. Now you see
How did you stop that running program?
red button. You see the red button here, red square. Okay, so any ID you use, you'll be a square button, and square button will be active only when your program is running. So you hit on this square button. Okay.
Okay.
So now you see here. So, okay, so y user is y. This is true, goes in, prints hello. After printing hello, input, enter y to continue or any other key I meant, okay, to stop. Now, I will say y. So it goes up, it is true, stopped. I mean, it prints hello and comes here and waiting for us to give next input. Again, we say y, right? And we are done. You don't want any more hellos. You hit any other key, right? So I hit enter. That means the value of user is blank, nothing. Nothing is not equal to y, right? So this condition becomes false and your program stops. Right? Now you see, why did we put user equal to y here? Because we wanted first condition to be true, isn't it? We wanted first condition to be true, okay, so that it goes inside at least once. And then you check, okay, you want to continue or not. Now let's say I want to check even for printing first hello. I want to check, okay, I'll put this as method 2. Or I'll print here method 2, better. Now, let's say even for printing first hello, I want to check from the user. Then what I'll do, I will use same stuff, okay? And this print hello, I will do it after this. Will it work? Now see what happened. User equal to y. User is y is true, it goes in. Okay, let me move this to the next, to the different page so that we don't get confused with this output, other output, okay? Now when I run this, okay, so user equal to y. So this is true, goes in, prints y, any other key to stop. Now I don't want to continue. I hit blank. But what happens? It prints hello because see, condition is checked only at the beginning, isn't it? So it has to, once you get in, you have to perform everything inside the loop. You have to perform everything inside the loop. So even though this user is not equal to y, but you have few more lines to execute. You executed print hello, and then when you go up, condition becomes false and you stop. So even though you are saying, no, still this hello is printed here. Correct? Hello is printed because, okay, there are few lines, like, even though I said, okay, don't work, but you have to still, you have to finish off what you're working. Correct? So that's why it's finishing off and then say, okay, thank you, bye, right? So that's not what we want, right? We want it to stop immediately. So you have something called as break. Break is a command which will break your program, break your loop actually. Okay, it breaks your loop. It can be used with both for loop and while loop. Mostly used with while, but you can use it with any loop. Okay. The moment you say break, it will force stop that loop. Even though you are saying run it 1,000 times in for loop and you break its encounter after 10th loop, it will stop. It will not go to 11th. Here, okay, at that very moment. So I can check a condition. If user not equal to y, if user not equal to y, break. Right? So after hitting the value, I'm checking, is it equal to y? No, then break, stop. Don't go forward. You stop there itself. So now when you run it, okay, y to continue on, okay, or any other key to stop, I say enter. It stopped. Because here user is not equal to y, it will stop immediately. It is not going to go further. Now if I say y, then so this condition becomes false. Break is not called. It prints hello, goes up, user is y. Then again it's asking you, do you want to continue? I say yes. Prints hello, goes up, and I want to stop, I will hit here and stop. Okay, so this is the usage of break. Now, one more thing you see here. Why
Hello?
did I say use? Yeah,
Sir, please again, you can,
sorry.
please again.
I'm explaining again. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Now, let's say, okay, this user equal to y. Okay, I'm setting user equal to y, correct? Why am I setting user equal to y? So that I can make this line as true, correct? Right? I'm saying user equal to y, I'm saying user equal to, I'm checking user equal to y. Because I want to make this as true. So what programming says, if you want to make it true, just like if, right, you delete here and directly you say while true. So it's like an open gate, right? Mostly when you enter into movie theaters and right, the gate is open, you go in, right? No condition. It is always true. That means you will always get into this while. So the reason I kept user equal to y was to make that condition true. Okay, so you don't have to make that condition true. Directly you put true. So when I say while true, your gate is open, you get inside. Now you ask the question from the user. Okay, user says, no, I don't want to proceed further. You don't want to proceed further? Then if user says not equal to y, you say break. Break means your loop will break. Okay, your loop breaks and then you come out. Right? So method 2, while true. So there is no condition to check. True means you always go in. It's open gate. It's like, park with open gate. Okay. No need to pay any money. No one will check your card or something. It's an open gate. You get in. Now, here I'm checking. Do you want to continue? You say, no, I don't want to continue. Hit enter. When you hit enter, this is no longer Y. And your loop breaks. Loop breaks, then you continue, right? If you have something here, this something will be printed. Right? But if I say no, I want to continue. You want to continue? Okay. Yes, then hello. Okay, so this condition becomes false, so break will not get executed.
Okay,
It
sir.
comes to print hello, goes up. Again, it is asking you to enter new value. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem. And when you don't want, you hit enter and you stop. So this is how you can use while. So this is where you are, okay, it's like you want to check condition, but first condition is true, right? You know, you have to allow, right? There's situation where, okay, you'll have condition in the beginning itself, right? I asked the user, how many times do you want to run? Implementing for loop using while. So you ask the user, how many times you want to run? User says 0 time. Then you'll check condition in the beginning itself. Okay, let's quickly see that example. So I will say count equal to int of input. How many times you want
I
to
will bring down
print?
and I zero to item. Those are
Okay, so here now while count is greater than 0, right? Because if I say 0, okay, how many times you want to print? 0 time. If I say 0 time, then you should not be printing, isn't it? So I say print hello. Now what happens here? You run it, and how many times I want to print? I say -1. Obviously, nothing happens. I say 0. Nothing happens, right? But if I say 5, then what happens? Infinite. Why? Because 5 is greater than 0, right? 5 is greater than 0. So you come inside, you print hello, goes up. Again, 5 is greater than 0. Now, you need something to increase the value of count, isn't it? Count is fine. Count is, uh, 5. But what happens after printing hello, okay, the value of count should go down, isn't it? So initially you want to print 5 times. After printing 1 time, you want to print now only 4 times, right? So what I can say here, I will go here and I'll say count equal to count -1. Or, okay, this can be written as count. You change this, see, so you have count equal to count -1, right? Same variable you are increasing. So you remove this and interchange the sign. So I remove this second count and interchange the sign. So equal to minus becomes minus equal to 1. Okay. So count minus equal to 1 is same as count equal to count -1. Count plus equal to 1 means count equal to count plus 1. So if you are changing a variable and storing in the same variable, you can do it using shorthand notation. So now count is, let's say 5. 5 is greater than 0, comes in, prints hello. Now count becomes 4, goes up, 4 is greater than 0, yes, prints hello, comes down. Now count becomes 3, goes up, prints hello, comes down, count becomes 2, goes up, prints hello, count becomes 1, goes up, prints hello, count becomes 0. After count becomes 0, is 0 greater than 0? No, false. So it stops. Right? In this case, how many times? I say 5 times. So see, okay, this is printed when 5 is greater than 0. This is printed when count is 4, count is 3, count is 2, count is 1. After count becomes 1, you go up, 0 is not greater than 0, it stops. Okay, so you got 5 times. Now, sometimes what happens is, I told you yesterday, I spoke about boundary condition. Okay. Sometimes you might have to put equal to. Okay. So you cannot so don't think that, we can get right answers in the first attempt. What if I had said equal to 0? Then if I run it, how many times it will print? 6 times, isn't it? Because last time 0 equal to 0 will be true. Okay, so see, oh, it's printing 6 times. This is not what I want. I want to print only 5 times. Then it's okay, I need to remove equal to. Right? So, you might have to play with the boundary condition a little bit. You might have to say not equal to, right? In this case, of course, it is just greater than. Equal to will not help. But maybe, in some condition, you might have to say equal to also. Okay, so you print once, you see the output is not what you want, then you go and make changes. That's how you learn, right? You can't get correct output in the first attempt. But logic has to be there, isn't it? You cannot just do anything. So you have to build your logic, get it right, okay? And then, okay, you can play with the conditions and other stuff. Okay, good. Shall we stop here for today?
Sounds good.
Great. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow again, we'll meet. We are meeting tomorrow, same time. And tomorrow we'll focus only on for loop. We'll do multiple examples with for loop. And then next day when we meet, next time, focus only on while examples. Okay, with that, we
Yes,
will
sir.
complete. Next 2 days, we'll complete loops.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good day, good evening ahead. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.